Streaming. Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever. Love it or hate it, it's here to stay. But how can we as producers make our tracks more effective for those platforms? Stick around, because I'm going to show you. Hey guys, Dilby here. Welcome back to the channel. So it's undeniable, undisputable, streaming has become a much more important part of releasing music these days. The way that people often discover music on streaming platforms is through playlists, and that creates an inherent problem for us as artists. When someone subscribes to a playlist, they're listening to the playlist, they're investing in the curator or the content of that playlist over time. And if your track is included on one of those playlists, the person listening may not even know that it's your track. They may be a fan of your music, but if they don't know that it's you, then there's nothing to tell them that, hey, you should give this a chance, you'll probably like it. So these are just factors that exist. There's nothing we can do about it, but we do need to take them into account when we're making edits for streaming platforms. And today I'm going to show you the how and why of going about that. Just quickly, if you want to support the channel and make sure I keep bringing you these videos every week, then there's a link in the description to Patreon. It's one of the best ways that you can support the channel. Now let's jump into Ableton and make a radio edit. Okay, so here we are inside Ableton, and this is the project file for an upcoming release together with Sam Dexter and Randall Dean. Shout out Randall Dean, Patreon subscriber and regular contributor to the live streams and things. Great vocalist, and we all contributed to writing this track together. This is a bit of how it sounds. Cool vocal here. But as you can see, this is the extended mix, right? So I need to make a edit for streaming. As we said in the intro, streaming is important. It's important to get a good edit that captures people's attention. People have like very short attention spans, and they have a lot of pressure, a lot of people vying for that attention. So this is the step-by-step of how I go about creating a radio mix or an edit or whatever you want to call it, and I will explain my rationale along the way of why I'm doing these steps. So the first thing I want to do is create a duplicate of this whole section, and I want a bit of gap in between, right? So I've taken the arrangement, put a loop brace around it, and added like a minute. Now I can right click up here, duplicate time. So now we've got a copy of the project with a gap between it. So the first thing I'm going to do is basically try out an arrangement just using this pre-master here. So I've got the pre-master so that I can do this, and it's easier than trying to kind of jigsaw piece the whole project together. I can just kind of do it in this with this one wave file and then put it into place. So I'm actually going to do it here, make it easier on myself. So I'm going to base this on the vocal. These are the vocals here. We've got the main vocal. It comes in here. I know that these elements are kind of harmonies and ad-libs and things, so let's color them slightly differently. This is where the vocal comes in, and this is a sweep that introduces it. So that could be the perfect thing to start with. Yeah, I mean, it could, like, you could potentially start like that, or maybe just here. I think it sounds more natural having this 4-bar counted, but the idea here is that we want to start with the hook. We want to grab people's attention right from the outset. So the problem that we're trying to avoid is, let's say, best case scenario, this gets put into a playlist, Electronic Rising or something, you know, one of these big Spotify algorithmic playlists where you can get lots of plays. Great. But if you don't capture the people's attention who subscribe to that playlist, they skip to the next track and you don't get the benefit. Even though they may actually love your track, people's attention spans, they're not willing to give something new that they have no idea about. It's just playing in their pocket, remember. They're not seeing, oh, this is a new Dilby track. I like Dilby's music. They're just hearing the first couple of beats and then skip. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind when we are making our radio edits or our edits. Okay, so I'm going to go from here. Then of course we've got the vocal here, so we're going to play that out. okay. So I think we could probably just skip this bit here, delete it, and I think we want to finish here at this break, finish on the chorus. Right, so it doesn't sound natural, but we're going to make that work. All right, so we've got here 3 minutes 30 minus 15 seconds, so 3:15, and I think we could again maybe take out 30 seconds here. That might be all we need to do. I can delete this one, copy this over. Now we can take this and just kind of join it up to have a listen through and check how we're looking on time. So we're at about 3 minutes. That's good, and especially for a 7-minute track, I think getting it down to 3 minutes is pretty solid. You know, we could potentially like fine tune some of these little bits in here. I think we could definitely take out maybe 4 bars or something from here, but we'll have a look at that in a minute. Okay, so I think it sounds about right. I'm going to refine this break here. That's the only thing. It sounds very choppy, but we're going to fix that by working on the project now. So basically, now that we have the reason I duplicated this across here is that we have these blocks of audio in the right place where they go. So what I can do is literally grab this, Command L to loop, select the loop brace, delete time. So we just deleted all of that MIDI, all those audio clips. Now we can do the same thing here, but this time we're going to look at what's happening on the downbeats so we can get away from some of that choppiness that we felt when we were just listening to the chopped together wave file. So I'm going to take this, duplicate it. So I've basically just duplicated the end part of this sweep, duplicate it. I'm going to copy this crash across. Now we may not need all of these things, but we can assess that. At least we've got them. We want to go up here and look at anything else that might be overlapping. Looks pretty good. So let's loop it up, delete time, and take a listen. Okay, so into that break there, I said I think we want to make an edit. It feels a little bit like we're not quite getting to the point soon enough. So I think we could probably lose this part and just come straight in with the respace. So if we were to go something like that, what have we got here in the way of effects? Okay. So I'm going to duplicate this across, my loop in here, let's give it a go. So maybe without the respace. It's always a little bit of trial and error with this. It sounds natural. So what we're trying to do is make it, even though we're chopping out all of this stuff, which in my opinion is important, this has to be done and we want it to sound natural. That's the goal here. So now let's come to this part, loop it. What are we going to be missing? The end of this sweep, potentially this vocal. Everything else looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to start dealing with this break here. We need to make this a bit more natural. So I'm probably going to leave some of these effects in place. I'll duplicate them all across just so we've got the option. Some of them will probably get turned off. Now let's have a look up here. I've just done that wrong. So that needs to come to the end of the loop brace. And this is how we're looking. Okay, so we could potentially leave it like that. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to put a marker in here so I know exactly where this point is. I'm going to put a loop around here so I can re-listen. Maybe I don't need... Oh, I could try without the crashes. I think the crashes maybe sound more natural. Maybe this. Let's go with both of them. Okay, so I want to take out some of the bass. Okay, we can turn this off. I think in the hats here, yeah, I can take this, bring the automation down, use the fade here. Maybe finish it there. Okay, let's take this off. Let's take these claps off. Okay, so all of the drums finish here. And this synth here, I'm just going to do some automation here to bring it right down. Or I could turn it off as well. I think it sounds more natural with it on. So a bit of trial and error here, as you can see. Don't always get it right, or often don't get it right the first time. Adding fades. I'm going to take out this extra note because it's creating more tension. Now what I might do is add a auto filter, turn on the auto filter here and create a sweep down. Too much. That's going to work for me. So yeah, fading out that little end bit took a bit of trial and error, but I wanted to kind of show you the details there of just kind of finessing things. There's no kind of exact science to it, but it's just making it feel smooth, feel like a natural ending, because we're kind of cutting it off at a place where it wouldn't naturally end. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If you like the track, look out for it soon. It's coming on bar 25. Or bar 25 if you speak German, and it's got a pretty amazing remix from one of my favorite producers, so it's going to be a big one. Alright guys, there you go. It's a simple concept, but some really important things to keep in mind. Hopefully that helps you when you're chopping up your next extended mix to make an edit. And if you're looking for something to watch next, then check out this. YouTube algorithm thinks you're going to like it. Well, that's it from me today. We'll catch you next time. Peace.